Hello there, it's Jamie Moore. You're very welcome to the Off the Ball League of Ireland podcast. I'm very happy to welcome Birmingham City defender Ryan Burke to the studio. Ryan, how are you?
All good, all good.
Thanks for coming in and joining us on our holiday so far.
Yeah, really enjoying it. Yeah, it's good.
So we're going to speak to Ryan about a range of issues. He played as a schoolboy for Crumlin and Joey's, is that right? Anyone else? Am I missing someone?
Belgrave as well when I was younger.
Okay, nice. And his St Joseph's boys team had the likes of Aaron Bulger, who's on loan at Cardiff from Shamrock Rovers, Andy Lyons at Bows, Brandon Kavanagh at Shamrock Rovers, a really, really good Joey's team. That's just to name three of his former teammates. In July 2016, Ryan signed for St Pat's under-17s in the midway point of that under-17 season, played every game as St Pat's finished top of the league and actually won the league final in the UCD Bowl. He spent the first half of the following season, 2017, from January to July with Pats before signing for Birmingham City on an initial 2-year contract. That was in July 2017. He's just turned 18, well, last November anyway, and he's an Ireland under 15, under 16 and under 17 international. We're going to talk about growing up playing football in Dublin, using the League of Ireland underage as a springboard to go to the UK, his time in England so far. Also about his new contract, planning to be at Birmingham for the next couple of years. Working with Gary Monk, the Birmingham first team manager, and Harry Redknapp, who would have been the manager there when Burke first signed. Also living away from home and what the future might hold. So Ryan, tell us about your path from starting playing football through your schoolboy clubs, through Pats, to now being an 18-year-old in the middle of just about to start your second pro contract at Birmingham in the Championship.
Yeah, well, obviously I started really young at my local club, Belgrave, and I think that was just more enjoyment side of things, just enjoying football, loving football, just going out and playing it. Not really competitive, but always wanting to win. Obviously moved on then to Crumlin, around 9 or 10, and loved it there as well. Loved my years at Crumlin. Really enjoyed it. Had a really good side there as well. Won plenty, so I think that's where the competitiveness came into it. Like, even in the training side of things, we used to push hard from a young age, you know what I mean? So, but loved my time there at Crumlin, then moved on to Joey's as well. Had a really good side at Joey's, and finally moved to Pats then, and also had a really good side at Pats. And I was just blessed with teams I've played for, coach I've had over the years, and managers that I've worked with, you know what I mean, which have really helped me, and like I couldn't really ask for anyone better, like from a young age right up till now.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that St Joseph's boys team you played in. I mentioned three of the lads that were there. There's other boys there too who I've forgotten, but that was a really good team, and a lot of the lads still doing well now. Yeah,
no, 100%. Yeah, a good few of them out across the water and stuff, playing at top clubs and stuff like that, you know what I mean? That Joey's team was just, I think it was player driven, you know what I mean? As I said already, the training sessions were just immense, you know what I mean? We came off, we wanted more from the training sessions, but we couldn't do it, you know what I mean? But like all the time out in Joey's, the coaches were excellent, you know what I mean? Like, from a coaching point of view, it's not much different from the technical side in England, but we just haven't got the time and hours to be putting in out there. So no, it was really excellent out there.
Yeah, so Ryan spent time playing, of course, for St Joseph's boys, and they had a really, really good team with all those players that we mentioned. And he then moved to play for St Pat's in the League of Ireland in that summertime of July 2016. And at that time, we spoke about, there's a picture of you sitting in Richmond Park recently doing a feature for St Pat's up on the screen to your left there. And you had to make a decision, and your team were, at a really good level. A lot of the players went to a few different clubs, and you had a choice to make because you wanted to go to England, but you weren't going just yet, so you had to make a choice to go to the League of Ireland. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, obviously, I really wanted to move to England. That was my main priority and stuff. So, obviously, when I wanted to move to a club, I obviously said to them at the start, listen, I want to move away to England, and I don't want just to step in and be a nuisance kind of thing. And the two clubs that I was really with was Rovers and Pats and stuff, and just it was a decision between them two. It was a tough decision, but obviously I went with me gut, went with my heart, and chose Pats, and it was the right decision now. And no problems with Pats at all with moving over to England or nothing like that. So it was perfect. Like, everything they said to me happened, you know what I mean? And I was just really pleased with how they dealt with things.
So you were just too old for the under-15 league, which started the following summer. So you had played schoolboy football all the way up, and this was, in the very early stages of the under-17 league and the League of Ireland under-17 in general. What impression did you have as a schoolboy of what the underage League of Ireland was going to be like? We're seeing you there in action, actually against Brandon Kavanagh, playing for Pats against Bows in one of those early games in your first season.
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest, coming in and stuff like that, but as soon as I came in, I did notice the difference and stuff like that, with just like gym work you can get to do, the more hours you got to do as well, where you got to train, like full-size pitches and what equipment you had access to. Like in the League of Ireland, the organisation stuff was way better, like travelling to and from games and just little things like that. Was a lot more professional than a schoolboy club, but obviously schoolboy clubs are limited to what they can do now. But no, I think that's one of the main things was the organisation stuff and the access you have to the equipment and stuff in League of Ireland clubs.
Yeah, and I know in that video you did with St. Pat's, you spoke about how you really used, you know, the environment of training more and having access to a gym and access to more hours on the pitch to really help you. How did you do that?
Well, it was down to yourself what you wanted to do, really, you know what I mean? So, like, if you wanted to just off gym off kind of thing, like, just leave it, you could, but you're not going to get the most out of it, so you may as well, when you're there, put the hours in and work as hard as you can, you know what I mean? And that's what I've done, and it benefited me in the end.
Did you just say bov gym off?
Yeah, bov gym off, yeah.
Is that an English phrase?
No, just like toss it off, you know what I mean?
Toss it off, that's an English phrase too. But what does bov mean? Bother off?
Yeah, not bothered, you know what I mean?
Okay, I did a vox pop on the roof of here the other day for Today FM, and I was asked what you really hate about Irish people, and I thought they get English phrases, so no more of them.
No worries.
Bov the gym off. You're back in Dublin now, you got to get your Dublin slang back. So you were using that, and you know, at that age there's trials and there's opportunities to move away and that sort of stuff, but you did have to really focus on your football, and like you played every game for that Pats team, and it was a good team, and you really again came in and as a schoolboy player, unsure if you'd play, got yourself in the team and did really well.
Yeah, no, it was a really solid team that when I came in first, and I was a bit on edge if I was going to start or if I was going to get a chance to play, and I think the first game I came in I was given the opportunity to play and stuff, so I was obviously grateful for that, and then just obviously worked hard and tried my best to try to get into the squad and stay in the squad, you know what I mean? And thankfully I did, and all the lads are excellent with me as well, you know what I mean? Just from day one, came in and just they welcomed me like as a teammate there like last year, so no, I was really happy with how they treated me and stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah,
we've just seen an image on screen there a moment ago of the UCD Bowl, the final of the under-16 season. That's you in action there at Dalymount Park. Dave, can we see the one of the lads with all the trophy? Let's see if Ryan can remember that one. There you go, beat UCD in that final, 1-0 down, 1-2-1. That's a cool photo, nice to look back on.
Yeah, 100%. That was a brilliant night, that was. You know what I mean? Memories, like, you just cherish all the time, you know what I mean? You think back good times, winning trophies, stuff like that, you know what I mean? That's what you play football for, and like, obviously just a brilliant night, and probably not one of the best performances, but finals are all about winning, you know what I mean? And that's what we've done, so I know. Yeah, so that's in October, November time, 2016. You came back and signed back in the January, but you kind of knew there was interest in the UK and that sort of stuff. How did that period of time work from signing back, playing that first part of the season, and eventually the move to Birmingham happening in that summer? Yeah, well, obviously, I think things are kind of materialising over in Birmingham and stuff like that, and they're kind of making a decision on whether they wanted me or not and stuff like that, and then like I found out they did and stuff like that, so I was really happy. But like obviously going back to Pats, all my focus was still on Pats, you know what I mean, and working with Pats and doing the best I could for them. So like I never really took me off the ball and with the Pats sign thing, and just kept cracking on until I was finally moving over there, and then when I moved over there, full focus on Birmingham. Yeah, we had Sean Brennan, who's with Southampton on loan with Longford, and Dan McKenna, who was in Wolves for a number of years and is back now with Chelsea. I know you know both of those quite well, and they were on last week, and they just told their stories of when they were 15 turning 16, why they made the decision they made to go to the club they did, and the education part of it, and you know, the moving away from home part of it, of course, as well. What did you think about when you were offered a sign for them and you were trying to decide, you know, what you wanted to do and stuff? Well, it's something I wanted to do from a really young age, you know what I mean? So when the opportunity came, I wasn't going to let it go. I was going to grasp it, you know what I mean, and take the opportunity. Obviously, with the education side of thing, I was in 5th year, I had a year left in school and stuff, so I was thinking about doing me leaving cert, doing a year of like study over in England and then come back in the summer and doing me leaving cert. But when you get over there, like the demands is just really high, and like especially when you first go over and you're not used to things, you get really tired after training, you go back, you just sleep and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a struggle, and I just didn't think I could keep up with it, so I just left and then done an extended BTEC course instead. Yeah, so why, like you're a year from ending school, and
like you're so close to the leaving cert and you felt you couldn't do it in the UK, and you obviously didn't want to stay here for another year because maybe the opportunity to go to Birmingham would be gone, but like to have got so close and not done it, that was a big decision to make.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think that was the biggest decision out of all, because I did want to finish school, because like it's a great thing to fall back on if anything ever did happen. So it was one of the toughest decisions about school and stuff, and that's what I did. I actually did try and persuade like and go and do me leaving cert, but as I said, I just didn't think I was capable of doing it, and I would have been like probably even more jaded and stuff, you know what I mean, studying, get my head in the books and stuff, so I just ended up leaving it.
So tell me about the extended BTEC and the education that you've done in the UK so far in your first 2 years there.
Yeah, it's just a college course. You do it from Wednesday to Friday. We do it 3 times a week, so it's just 4 hours during them days and stuff, you know what I mean, and you do that, you get awarded like merit distinction and stuff like that, and the better you do on each assignment, like over the course of the 2 years, then you can actually go into a college or do this and do that, you know what I mean, like it still qualifies you for certain things, but not everything.
And what's in those courses, like what subjects are you doing, and you know, how can they be a help moving forward?
It's in sports, so like it's more like nutrition, sports science, like just like personal training stuff and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and obviously you get your level 3 coaching badges as well over there. You do that during your 2 years in the course, so that's also a good thing as well to have. Yeah,
from speaking to Dan last week, and I haven't got the exact quote, but he basically said along the lines of, I wish I had to put more into my education there to get higher results in it. You mentioned merits and distinctions and stuff like that too, and he felt, you know, I'm chasing being a footballer, maybe I don't need that. Was that something that you did too, that the education was just something like a box you had to tick in order to be there because the clubs want you to do it, or did you actually put proper effort into it?
Well, like I could have just done the normal course and just done the BTEC and just really not given me all, but in fairness, like I went and done the extended and like did actually try hard, you know what I mean, and got good marks in it and stuff, so I'm happy with what I came out with now. And so I didn't really just leave it, I went and done it properly. So is that finished now, and when you go back in July, do you do something else or? No, that's finished now, okay. So I won't go back and do any more college work or nothing like that, it's just all football now. Okay, so you sign and you decide you're leaving school after 5th year, and that's, you know, a massive part of the decision. Going to play football is a massive part of the decision, but also leaving Dublin and leaving your friends and your family and that sort of stuff, and that's something that you don't get to know how that's going to feel till you actually go and do it, because you can't replicate it on a trial and you can't replicate it on a trip for a few weeks, and of course they sell you the dream, but then you go and maybe it's a lot different. So how were the first couple of weeks when you're doing a full-time pre-season for the first time, and also you're actually realising, well, I'm actually not living with my mum and dad anymore? Yeah, as you said, like, you get a trial, you might get a trial for a week or 2 and stuff like that, and you just think, oh, I'm fine over here, you know what I mean, it's not a biggie, but you go over there and you're in pre-season and you're thinking, right, I'm not going to get home now for 10 weeks, and pre-season is just straight away, you're running straight away, no ball, no nothing, and you're thinking, geez, this is tough, like, and will I be able to cope and stuff like that, and you might doubt yourself every now and again, but you just have to remind yourself, like, how many years you put into this, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, and just drive through it, and then hopefully get rewarded at the end of it. Did you have moments in the early part of the time when your legs were sore and you were homesick, thinking, what have I done? Well, I didn't really get homesick as missing home or nothing like that. Like, obviously I didn't miss my mum and dad, but it was only a FaceTime call and stuff like that. It was easy to get in touch and easy to get called, but when I first went over, I know that when I went into the 18 squad, I wasn't really in pre-season. I wasn't maybe first choice left back, and I was thinking, like, this is going to be a long season, like a year on the bench maybe or something like that, but I just kept plugging away at, and then eventually got my chance around like September time after a couple of league games and stuff like that, so that kind of was a worry at the start of the season, not playing, but I ended up getting my chance and then moving on further. Yeah, so you get into the team and you're doing quite well, and you know, you said you didn't get homesick, and you've got FaceTime and you've got Snapchat and you've got Instagram and you've got loads of ways to kind of stay in touch at home. You know, everybody now is addicted to social media, including me.
How often do you actually speak to your mum and dad and your mates, and you know, to have FaceTime is great, and also to be only probably a 40-minute flight away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you're not getting home for 10 weeks, I'm sure some weekends you had girlfriend over, parents over, people over to see you, and also your best mate Joe Redmond, who played with your schoolboy. I should have mentioned him at the start. He's still at Birmingham too, and he's a dub, and you would have seen him a lot. So there were people around you, and also you had technology to see people here physically and you know, speak to them.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I was blessed with Joe being over there, you know what I mean, and being one of my best mates since I'm young, playing all up through the age groups from Crumlin, Joey's, you know what I mean, all the time. But yeah, like I'll ring my man and dad every night, you know what I mean. We talk every day. I'll be Snapchatting my friends, you know what I mean, most days as well, just normal chatting and stuff like that. But like, obviously it is hard being away from them. You see them over here and they're out there doing things and stuff like that, and you're sitting at home doing in digs and just not really doing anything. But like, it doesn't really bother me, and I'm just over there to do a job. What do you do away from football to occupy your time? You're a FIFA man, I hear, are you, or is it Fortnite? Yeah, I'm on a bit of FIFA and Fortnite, yeah, when I'm back home in digs. But other than, like, I might go home and I might just head to the gym with Joe or something like that, and then just come back, have a few games of FIFA, and then just knock off, you know what I mean? I'm not a big reader or nothing like that. I'm just more social media and PlayStation and stuff. And sleep is a massive part. I remember an interview years ago with Damien Duff, and he was asked, what's your hobby? And he said sleep. And because you're in so much, and the demands, I'm going to speak about the demands of playing up a couple of age groups in terms of 23s and training with the first team, and that sometimes you just want to get home and actually physically get into bed in the afternoon and sleep for a couple of hours. Yeah, no, some mornings you might just wake up and your first thought is, oh, I can't wait to get back into bed, you know what I mean? But like, when you wake up in the morning, you just have to get through it, and then when you get into the club, then you have to tune in, you have to be on it, you know what I mean? But like, you do have them days where you just wake up and you're just jaded and you're just drained, and like, you're thinking, oh, I wish I had a day off or something like that. But I do get through it, and then if you come home, have a nice nap, and you wake up, you're fresh, and then that's everything, you're sorted then again, you know what I mean, and ready for day two. I think every single person in the world is saying, yeah, I agree with that. When you get up out of bed, it's like, I can't wait to go into bed. Yeah. I'm up at 6 a.m. during the week, and for the sports show here on a Sunday, it's like into the shower at 6:05 going, please get me back to bed. Some days I get to nap, other days I don't, and you're like, but once you're actually up, it's grand. Yeah, no, 100%, yeah. And then you're going in to train, and you've played for the 18s and 23s, and I know trained with the first team a little bit as well. Again, for people listening and watching who don't know your full story, tell us about the first 2 years and the different kind of teams you played for in Birmingham and that sort of stuff. Well, I went over and then I was with the 18s for the first half of the season, really. As I said, like, I struggled getting to this side and stuff, but then I got onto this side and then made an impact, and then moved up to the 23s around November time. I think I made my debut the day after my birthday for the 23s side, so yeah, I was really pleased when I was making debut, and then they were happy with me, so they kept me up then for the rest of the season, and I learned a lot up there. Obviously, I wasn't getting as much game times I probably would with the 18s, but like, I was learning more stuff because it was a lot more physical up there and just little things like that, more technical even. But you know, it was really good being up there with them for that half of the season, and then starting off this season with them. Like, so I already had a taste of it and stuff like that, and then I could push on this season with them. So no, it was really good. Yeah, so you spoke about when you arrived not being first choice left back and having to get ahead of the under 18 left back, and then the next age group is 23s. Is there 21s, or is it just 23? 18s, okay, and 23s, so it goes straight. So you're going from, if you're too old for 18s, which you definitely are now, you're now looking at fellas who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and first team players can play down too, can they? Yes, they can. Yeah. So there's a lot of people in I'm sure that position where you're going, I've now got to get in ahead of him, and that's the dog-eat-dog nature of being a young footballer in England, and why so many people like your age are home now, haven't been released after their first contract. You've done so well to get a new one because you've had to compete and do well against those people in your position and be better than them. Yeah, 100%. It's obviously, like, you have to respect your teammates 100%, but when it comes down to things like that, you're for yourself, you know what I mean? You have to have that bit of bite about you and all, you know what I mean? And if someone's in your position, you have to move them out of the way, you know what I mean? And get in that spot, and then if someone else is there, you have to push them out of the way and just keep going and going and going. Like, you can be good friends with your rival in the team, you know what I mean? But like, at the end of the day, there's only going to be one spot for you, and you have to make it yours.
Yeah, that's interesting that you've said that, and we see it a lot, you know, with two goalkeepers where they train together, their mates, their roommates and all, and one of them's getting picked. But it's the exact same outfield.
Yeah.
And, you know, managers always say you're picked on your form in games, but also in training. And of course, in training, you're competing against your teammates, and if there's a tackle to be made, a fair, strong tackle or whatever it might be, or to not make someone to score, or you know, chip a goalkeeper or put it through a goalkeeper's legs to get in the team, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, do anything to get into the team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you give yourself the best chance to get in the team. If that's by doing extra after the session, doing extra in the gym, doing whatever. You know what I mean? But whatever makes you get into the team, that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? So it's a tough nature, but it's good.
What's the standard like of players you're against, players you're with, and trying to again perform at that level and go into that environment having been kind of a big fish here to really go and try and do your stuff?
Yeah, no, it is a tough environment, really good players over there, and like when they forced me over, I wasn't first choice, and like I knew why, because people were physically stronger than me, even technically some were better than me, you know what I mean? And like it is from the years and years that you do, the more hours they get on us and stuff, you know what I mean? Then you finally catch up when you get over there and stuff like that, and then when you catch up, then it's about going further than them and getting the better of them. So, but as you said, it is tough nature, but it's a competitive and enjoyable one.
Now, producer Dave, there's a little photo there of Ryan Burke in a green Ireland kit, and he looks about 6 in it maybe. He's got a bloody nose and a white thing shoved up his nose for those who are listening to the podcast. If you're watching, you can see it now. Playing for Ireland under 15s and home farm in Whitehall. Bloody nose, but I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you're actually tiny there, and you're not the tallest now, but you've grown in height, and you've certainly, you know, I was at that game, you've certainly put on muscle and strength and size, and that's something you knew you had to do before you went. But how did you actually go and do it? Because, and I know you would have been in the gym a little bit with Pats when you were here, but going again into that demands of training, sometimes 2 sessions a day, plus the gym on your body, which you knew you had to do to get to the level of kind of physique and stuff that you're at now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as you move over, you know what I mean, you have your programme, you're set out what you're going to be doing for the week, it's sent out to you and stuff, so you might have like training session Monday, gym session Monday, like you'll train 5 days a week and you'll have three or 4 gym sessions a week, you know what I mean? So once you're doing that, you're going to automatically improve and with your strength and your technical side of the game, you know what I mean? So, like, that you just have to keep up at the start kind of thing, and then when you do catch up, it's about pushing on from there.
So, for example, you play on a Saturday. What's your week? How often are you in? What are you doing? When do you get days off? When do you get rest? That sort of stuff.
You'll probably go in the Monday, have a training session, not too heavy, lightish session on the Monday, and probably have no gym. If you haven't gym, probably have a body gym. Then,
so you're off on the Sunday?
Yeah, off on the Sunday, then in the Monday. In the Tuesday, it's a tough session on the Tuesday, then you could have a double session and gym. Wednesday, probably, then you have a bit more lighter session. Thursday is another tough session. Then Friday is just game prep, and like you will have gym maybe on the lighter days and the not so hard days, just to make sure you're not overloading. And
there's a real plan in place for each player for the load and how much you do, and I'm sure you guys wear GPS units, so the coaches and the S&C coaches can see if you've played 90 on a Saturday and you've covered X number of kilometres and done X number of sprints, your load might be brought down. But you might also have a game on the Tuesday, for example, and it's about trying to balance and also not break young footballers in terms of their actual body, that they want you to be able to play and train. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have all the equipment over there, all the analysis, all the high tech stuff, so they know what they're doing, so you just have to trust them and believe in them. What's the training ground like? I've never been there, and I love hearing just different kind of experiences of the place where you go to work every day. Now, to be honest, there's a really good vibe around the club and stuff like that, and you have, like, when I was on trial and stuff, sometimes you get a bad vibe off the place, and there's like people that just walk around thinking they're too big for this club and stuff like that, but when you're in the club, you know what I mean, everyone's like level, you know what I mean. The first thing was just chatting to you like normal people and stuff, you know what I mean, and it's a really good club, you know what I mean. No one's really like too big for their boots. Too big for their boots, mound and stuff like that, you know what I mean. They're all sound. How did you ensure that you didn't become one of those young footballers who
excuse the language, is a little arsehole and thinks he's great and doesn't think he has to train properly and just walks in with his toilet bag and you know, strolls around the place and takes someone's money every week and then is surprised 2 years later when he's released?
No, I think that's just something that's embedded into me, to be honest. Like, I'm just not that type of person, and I never will be. When it comes to things like that, I think I was brought up to be a good person from my family, you know what I mean? And I just carry that trait through, and I try to be nice to people. If they're nice to me, I'm nice to them, and I think that's the way it should be.
And that's not the way with every player, and that's something I'm sure you guys all have to try and, you know, consider when you go, that there might be other people in your team who are not behaving properly and not living properly. And also you're at an age now where you're 18 where you can go out, you can drink, you can, you know, I know you've got a girlfriend, but the distractions of being an 18-year-old in comparison to a 16-year-old are totally different.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, there's times where people are saying, oh, you're coming out here or there and stuff like that, but I'm not one for going out and stuff over there, and I'm just, when I'm over there, like, on the weekends, I'll just chill out, you know what I mean? And I don't really see the point in going out and stuff like that and just wasting a week's work and by going out and just
drinking it away.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but so like when I'm over there, you know what I mean, I just don't see the point.
And social media now is so big, and like we use it to a massive extent here and off the ball, and in work to you know, get our content to people, and it works really well. And for young footballers too, you know, they put stuff on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and you know, lots of likes and lots of comments and lots of people DMing you and that sort of stuff. Did you find that when you moved, you maybe found friends or friends found you that either you hadn't spoken in years or you didn't even know and they wanted to be your mate because you were a footballer, and that can probably be made in terms of you know, girls and girlfriends and people wanting to be associated with you because you're a footballer?
Yeah, you do and you don't really, you know what I mean. If that did happen to me where people are trying to get in contact, and I knew what it was because of and stuff, you know what I mean. So I kept in that distance and just kept my real friends close and stuff, you know what I mean. And the ones that I knew from a young age, I just kept them close, you know what I mean.
It's Jamie Moore here. You're on the Off the Ball League of Ireland podcast, speaking to Ryan Burke from Birmingham City, who played for St Pat's here in the League of Ireland under-17s and also played for, was it Broadford Rovers?
Belgrave,
Crumlin, and also Joey's. Now, when Ryan played for Birmingham, there's more water there if you want it. When Ryan played for Birmingham, he signed in the summer of 2017, and the manager was Harry Redknapp, is that right?
Yeah, that was right, yeah.
Okay, so Harry Redknapp, who I interviewed last year when he was when he became a GAA manager, and I'm going to be killed for not remembering the name of the client. What was the name of the client? AIB. Was it AIB? No, it wasn't AIB. I will find out that in a moment on my Google machine here. But anyway, what a man. He then went in and won the jungle. Yeah. And like, such a famous manager, you know, managed some of the biggest teams in England. Lee Carsley was caretaker, Steve Cottrell, and now Gary Monk. But when you signed, Harry was the gaffer.
Yeah, that was right. I wasn't really, I was with the 18 and stuff, so I didn't see a lot of them, you know what I mean. I've seen it around the club and a lot on that, but I didn't really get to see him much. But obviously, as you said, like, great character and stuff, you know what I mean, great manager, so it was great to have him there and see him around the club, and just didn't really happen for him. He done well keeping us up and stuff, but then that was it, and just ended up leaving.
I was right the first time. The AIB GAA, the toughest series, when Harry Redknapp and Gianluca Vialli became GAA managers and managed a game, and it was brilliant. I think Harry was a manager of some team in West Cork, and it was great. But you didn't get to see too much of it at all at that time?
No, not at that time, no. I seen him around the club, obviously, when I was in training and stuff, but I never really talked to him or nothing.
Nice man?
It was really, really, really nice, you know what I mean? Down to earth and just bang on.
He's my favourite manager, bar Rafa Benitez, who I love Harry. And so you're a young player at the club, and you're kind of a couple of steps away from the first team, and you're in the training ground with them, and you see the staff and you see the manager, but you don't necessarily have kind of any real involvement or contact with them.
No, not really, no. I don't think it's until you actually hit that first team level and you're playing, you'll get really good contact with the first team manager and stuff. You'll go to his office, have chats with him and stuff, but it's only when, as I said, when you reach that level of first team football.
So when did that first happen for you, when you first trained with the first team, when you first knew that the first team manager kind of really, even though they know your name, but really knew you and really thought you were good?
Well, I was just asked to train with them, you know what I mean, and I went down, I remember doing like a couple of sessions with them and that, and we trained side by side with the first team, so like you might just get asked over every now and again, and like you go over and you can see like the quality is a lot better than, not a lot better, but is better than when you're at 23 and stuff. It's a bit tougher and stuff like that, just physically quicker, stronger, mentally, stuff like that. Just is tough when you're up there, but it's always good to learn off them.
Yeah, the first team finished, I think it was, where am I going on my league table here? I saw it there a minute ago, 17th or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was alright, yeah.
Yeah, 17th in the table, so like a good bit off the playoffs and you know, not overly near the bottom teams that got relegated either too. So, you know, the period when the club is, and 4 managers in your time, Harry Redknapp, was Lee Carsley a caretaker or was he full-time? Steve Cottrell and then...
Yeah.
Gary Monk, and you're starting to make inroads with manager A and the team doesn't do well, and like the stint of a championship manager is so short that you could be doing great, you're training every day, new manager comes in, different style, and you're out, and that's something as an academy player or a younger player that you've no control over, but it massively affects you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like the gaffer comes in and he gives you a way to play, and that's how you play. You might just play that way for the full season and play that formation for the full season, and he could be gone next season. You can play totally different football, and you just have to adapt to that football again. He might like you, you know what I mean? So it's always a tough environment, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's about what he likes and what he wants. And
have you had much dealings with the first team in this season, and also the manager there, Gary Monk, who seems to be kind of a new type manager and very open to new ideas and you know, open to playing young players too?
Yeah, no, he has given a chance to a good few of the lads. Go few of the younger boys, and I think you just need to get his trust. I think if he trusts you, then he might give you an opportunity and stuff, you know what I mean? But no, he has done well with the younger boys, and obviously it's just a tough environment, but you have to just go out there every day and just give your best, and just that's all you can do.
And if the first team aren't doing well, does that atmosphere transmit to the other younger teams in the club and the younger players, given you're in the same training ground, it might be the same canteen, and also maybe if you're called into training on a Monday morning and they've had a defeat on the Saturday and some of the first team players are you know, a little bit annoyed or a little bit upset, again, that's a good learning for you, but is that something that you see? And also on the opposite side, if they win a couple of great games, it's the opposite buzz. I do see the mood fluctuating every now and again, you know what I mean? If they have a few defeats and stuff, that they might be a bit more aggressive around the training ground and stuff like that, but it's nothing major or nothing like that. But obviously they had a good season and stuff, you know what I mean? I know they had that points deduction and stuff, but like comparing to last season, it was a good season and stuff like that. Done well and won plenty of games, so it was a good mood around the camp all season. Yeah, how many points did they lose for that fan attacking Jack Grealish?
Oh, I don't think it was for the fan, I think it was for the fair play rules, I think it was.
Oh, so it was, you're right, yeah. Because they finished on 52 points.
Yeah, I think it was just 9-point deduction then they got for that.
Okay, so they would have been at least had a chance to get towards the playoffs towards the end. Now, you've played in some unbelievable stadiums. Tell me about some of the favourite ones you played in, because lots of the under-23 games are played in the stadiums, a couple of finals, and very recently enough you were playing in another big stadium.
Yeah, well, I think Elland Road that I've recently played in and stuff, I think that actually was my favourite, considering the turnout we got for the game and stuff, you know what I mean? There was just under 8,000 people there at the game, so like that was just an amazing experience, you know what I mean? And the crowd was great, you know what I mean? Just chanting away all game and stuff like that, so that was a brilliant experience playing against them and with that crowd behind them. Where else have you played? Played at Stamford Bridge with Chelsea. That's probably one of the most recognisable stadiums that I've played at. And then I've played at a good few of the championship grounds, like just Ashton Gate, Bristol and stuff like that, but I've played in a good few. What are the pitches like? Because I've been on the pitch at Diviva a few times doing stuff for the FAI TV and like on the sideline at Anfield and other places, but you know, the only ever pitch I've actually been on is Diviva, which is like unbelievable. Like Stamford Bridge, looking at it on TV, it looks absolutely outrageous, and then you get to play on it, like. Yeah, no, it does be pristine. It does. I think most of the stadiums when you're playing them, like the pitches be unbelievable, you know what I mean? And obviously you get the odd few that are just decent, you know what I mean? But most of them are just top of the range. And the travel as well, you know, you've had to go overnight to some games, and again, that's something that would be a little bit new, and you know, all of the bits that they're trying to give you is to teach you what it will be like with the first team. So tell me a little bit about that and some of the away trips and the routine and the bus, and you know, you're having to do your initiation song the night before and get used to being a footballer on the road as well. Yeah, well, we might have journeys up to 6 hours, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. We had one against Ipswich in the semi-final. we travelled up that morning. We ended up taking us 6 hours up because there was a crash on the motorway and stuff like that, so the game had to be delayed, put back a half an hour and stuff like that. So that, like, the travelling and things, you get food in the bush, you know what I mean? You'll stop off, shake the legs off, you know, just to make sure you're not stiffening up. But like the trips, yeah, we have, like last season we done a trip to Ipswich, which we obviously done it overnight because it was just really, really long and you don't want to be tired and stuff like that. But the trips are enjoyable, you know what I mean? All the lads just go banter on the bus and stuff like that.
What is your initiation song?
My initiation song? I don't really know, to be honest. I just sing whatever comes to mind, I'll just sing.
Have you had to do many of them over the years?
I think I've done 3. I think we done one in the pre-season tour at the 18s, then first game at the 18s, and then with the 23s as well. So 3.
Nice. Your first team one hopefully coming up soon. That'll be a nervy one if you ever get to do it.
Hopefully, yeah.
What would you say to a young player who is coming exact same as you in the middle of, say, a 17 season or even a 15 season or whatever it might be, and they're going in July and they're playing the last few League of Ireland games and they're getting ready to go and chase the thing that they've been chasing since they were a kid?
For me, it was trying to match the workload as an English kid. Obviously, I probably couldn't, but like get as close to matching the workload as an English person or English footballer, because when you go over there, like the demands are incredibly high, you know what I mean, and what they expect from you is high. So if you're already halfway there or 3/4 of the way there, it's going to really help you and stuff like that. So I think just work hard for how long you have until you're moving across, and then that'll just stand to you when you're over there.
Yeah, because a lot of them would have signed their contracts already, and it's easy to not apply themselves properly for the last little period here because they're going when in fact they should be trying to up their application to go over, get into a pre-season at a really good level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one thing you can't do. Take your eye off the ball when you sign your contract and just leave your fitness work, leave that, and just think, I'll go over there and be fine, because you definitely won't be. You go over there and it'll be a real eye-opener for you, and you might struggle, and it's you might think you're one of the best players over here, and you go over there and you're just on par with everyone. You mightn't be as good as a lot of people over there, so that's one thing you can't do, is take your eye off the ball. And
what to expect when they get there? Like first few weeks, bit of homesickness, their digs, getting a car, learning to cook, all those bits as well. Yeah, like it's a huge change in everyday life, because you're not living at home and you're living in digs and you don't know the people you're living with. But like, I think I've been blessed with my digs as well. Like, they took me in from day one as a family member and looked after me really well. So I've been blessed with them. But other than that, like, you probably will. I hear a lot of people getting homesick and over the first couple of weeks. So obviously it's going to be tough, but I think you just have to remember why you're over there, and if that's what you really want to do, then you just have to get on with it, and because that's what you wanted in the first place. So, like, obviously you mentioned the car and stuff. Like, when you first moved over, you're probably a bit too young, but as you're progressing through the season and stuff, you might start doing your lessons and stuff. So yeah, it's a big step up. Are you driving yourself yet? No, I'm not driving myself yet. I'm just finished my last lesson, so hopefully in the pre-season I'll be able to get a car. And can you cook? Yeah, actually we've done some cooking lessons over in Birmingham, so I'm not too bad. I'm alright. What's your speciality? Because I'm starving. Probably just chicken and rice, easy. That's hardly a speciality. Sure, you could cook that out of a book. Oh my God, chicken and rice, really. It's nice though. Lastly, new contract. What's the story there? First of all, great to be offered one when the stats are not in favour of an Irish player in England being offered a second contract, but you have been. Have you signed it yet, and how excited you are to get back at it in July? I haven't signed it yet, but it's just been finalised and stuff, so I'm buzzing to be going back now at the end of the June. So I just can't wait for next season. I mean, I know every year is a big year, but it's a huge year for me, you know what I mean? Yeah, your first year as I'm going to say a real pro, but the first year out of your youth contract as such, so it is important. And you will go back end of June, so you need to keep yourself taking over in the summer and not, I'm sure, have a holiday and have a couple of weeks off, but be at a level of fitness and have to get some sessions in here. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've just started recently, started back up with my
fitness work and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to get the head down now, have a good off-season, then be ready for pre-season.
And lastly, we're a League of Ireland podcast, and you're a former League of Ireland Academy player. Again, how would you describe how, and it was only a year you were in the League of Ireland, but how that helped your path to where you are now, going from a really good schoolboy club in Joey's and Crumlin before that and so on, into the League of Ireland for, you know, a short period, but then making that jump, and how that maybe helped prepare you, and the games and the people you met, and all of the above, really?
I think professionalism was probably the main thing, because like if you went from a schoolboy club straight over to England, I don't think you have that. As you said, them long coach journeys and stuff like that. Like you're already kind of used to going far trips and playing one or two stadiums over here, so it's not a massive eye opener when you get over there. So, but playing the League of Ireland it was a massive help for me, and the quality of players is better than schoolboy stuff as well. So, but it helped massively. Ryan Burke, thanks a million. Enjoy the rest of your summer. And no more English phrases. No problem. My granny is English. I love English people, but the English phrases and the Irish lads and the footballers, I'm not having it. Burke, thanks a million. No worries. Thanks very much.